top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short. We're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Now, there are probably a lot of things that you could argue that are wrong with Woody Allen, but the one thing I am highlighting today was a quote he made many years back where he said 80% of success is showing up. Now, that would be great if that was the case. You know, I could sit here in the car and I could think to myself, well, I'm successful, but there'd be no podcast episode here. You know, the fact that you are listening to a podcast means that not only did I need to show up, but I needed to record this episode here. Again, I don't know if Woody Allen predicted the future, but when you look at what's going on nowadays with younger kids and, you know, school events and, you know, sports days and stuff like that, you know, a lot of kids just get a medal just for showing up. You don't need to win any races anymore. It doesn't matter if you come last. It doesn't matter if you take part in the race. Basically, if you're standing on the side of the track, you're probably entitled to a medal nowadays. So I don't know whether he saw a trend or maybe he created one, thinking that just showing up is enough. Because showing up really isn't enough. You know, it's not even an option, because if you want to improve your life, it's going to take action. You know, neither does buying a book, listen to a podcast, watching a video, or getting fired up all to your favourite motivational speaker. You know, none of that is ever going to start anything, because again, it's action that does it. You know, my Kindle library, I can't tell you how many books are on it, but I can't remember the contents of probably 99.9% of them. You know, the podcasts I listen to, I might get inspired maybe for a second or two, but, you know, that's easily all forgotten. You know, the videos that I watch, unless maybe I've took action on something in the video, or maybe bookmarked it, you know, a lot of those videos I've watched over the years are just all talking heads. They've all kind of gelled into one kind of ball of meh. There's nothing that I really remember for them. And even the times like I listen to Les Brown, you know, I might get fired up after listening to him for maybe half an hour or an hour, but when I switch off that tape or, you know, that MP3 player and, you know, come back to the world of reality, you know, reality has a kind of a way of kind of, you know, it's almost like opening the door. Reality comes in and all that motivation and inspiration that you had a few moments ago are just blown away. So the only thing that really can improve your life, as I said, is action. You know, even an unmotivated person, someone who isn't inspired, isn't motivated, will get a lot more done than a person who is motivated but doesn't take action. You know, if you don't believe that, go to some shop, some store or some business where the employees are just dead behind the eyes. You know, they don't want to be there. Now, they mightn't give great service, but at least to give some service, they know that they need to go through the motions, they need to do some work. So comparing someone like that to maybe someone who is motivated but doesn't take action, I'm sure you can see that you don't really need to be motivated to do something. You know, that's like, you know, for these people who are motivated and don't act, it's almost like, you know, planning your day trip, all the things you're going to do that day, and then what you do is you sit in the driveway, you turn the engine on, and you just rev the car all day and don't go anywhere. You know, it's a waste of energy and you don't get anywhere. You know, what you need to do is that you realise that you've been an idiot. You know that working out burns calories. You know that writing, you know, creates blog posts and books, and that videos, podcasts need to be recorded, and that showing up isn't winning. You know, it's not even a warm-up. It's simply doing the work, plain and simple. So, while Woody said, you know, that showing up is 80% of success, it isn't really. It's not even 1% of success. It's actually doing the work is going to make you successful. So right now, you know, reading the books, listen to the podcast, including this one here, it's not going to make any difference to you. You need to take action. You need to Do something, create something, record something. You know, as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, you need to do something right now, because if you carry on the way you are, success is never going to come near you. Your life is never going to change. You're never going to get slimmer. You're never going to write that book. You're never going to start that business. So even though you might feel right now, well, I don't know enough, I'm not motivated enough, I'm not inspired enough, even right now where you are, you can be taking action. It mightn't seem like a lot of action, but even a tiny piece of action is a lot more than what you're probably doing right now. So forget about all the information, all this kind of motivational stuff is telling you need to do this and you need to do that. Basically, if we just put it all in a nutshell, you need to take action. Even though you don't believe in yourself, even though you doubt yourself, even though you think you don't know enough. Do something. Take action, because it's the only way you're going to change from where you are. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Before you go, Barry would like to give you a free copy of Words to Wealth. In it, he's going to show you 10 ways to make money from writing. Head on over to writecome.com now for your copy. Have a great day and come back soon.